Did you know that there are certain debts that many older adults might never have to pay off again? This revelation can come as both a shock and a relief to many. You might have spent years diligently sending money to debt collectors, thinking you had no other options, when in reality, you did. The truth is, thousands of seniors across the nation continue to hand over parts of their limited retirement income to settle debts that, legally speaking, no longer hold any weight. What's even more troubling is that many debt collectors are aware of this fact but still choose to pressure individuals, banking on the idea that fear will outweigh knowledge. Today, we're going to delve into 6 specific types of debts that lawyers frequently advise seniors not to keep paying. These are debts where, believe it or not, the law is actually on your side. Even if a collector on the other end of the phone tries to convince you otherwise, we'll clarify why these debts have lost their power, how they ensnare so many older adults, and what steps you can take if you find yourself being harassed about them. Which of these points will empower you? With winter just around the corner, now is the time to replace fear with knowledge and regain control over your finances. So, if you've been anxious about debts gnawing away at your retirement funds, take a deep breath. You're about to uncover 6 crucial truths that can completely transform how you manage debt from here on out. Let's get started. First on our list, we have old medical bills that are beyond the reach of collection. For countless seniors, medical expenses have accumulated over the years, often stemming from surgeries, hospital stays, or emergency visits. Every time a new bill arrives in the mail, it can feel overwhelming. But here's something most people don't realize. Old medical debt comes with an expiration date. Each state has its own statute of limitations that dictates how long a hospital, clinic, or collector can legally sue you for payment. For some states, this period might be as short as 3 years, while in others it extends to 6 years. Once that time frame has passed, the debt loses its legal enforceability. Now, this doesn't mean that collectors will stop reaching out, but it does indicate that you are no longer obligated to pay that debt. Many seniors worry that outstanding medical bills will start eating away at their Social Security checks. The good news is that, under federal law, Social Security benefits are generally shielded from most creditors. Hospitals cannot dip into those funds, no matter how loudly they might threaten you. Understanding this fact can significantly lighten your burden, as it helps distinguish between reality and fear tactics. Let's consider the story of Margaret, a 74-year-old widow who used to pay hundreds of dollars each month towards a hospital bill from nearly a decade ago. She believed she had no other choice. However, when she finally consulted with a legal aid attorney, she learned that her state's statute of limitations had expired years prior. The realization that she could have kept that money for her medications and daily expenses was life-changing. So if you're still receiving collection calls about very old medical bills, take a moment before you pay another cent. Ask yourself, how old is this debt, and has the legal time limit already passed? If it has, you may already be free from this burden. Next, let's talk about old credit card debt that has become time-barred. Credit cards can often feel like a safety net during difficult times. However, for many seniors, those balances linger long after the cards have been cut up. What you might not know is that, similar to medical bills, credit card debt is also subject to a statute of limitations. Once this time frame runs out, lenders lose the legal right to sue you for repayment. Collectors may continue to send letters or make phone calls, but they often rely on your fear and lack of information to extract money from you. If the time has elapsed, the debt is termed time-barred, which means you are not required to pay it. One common pitfall for many older adults is accidentally resetting the clock on this statute. In most states, even making a small payment or acknowledging the debt can restart the statute of limitations, thereby giving collectors the right to pursue legal action again. That's why it's crucial not to rush into any decisions when someone pressures you over the phone. Take your time, confirm the age of the debt, and be aware of your rights. Consider Robert, a 78-year-old retired bus driver who was constantly harassed by collection agencies about a credit card he had stopped using over 15 years ago. They demanded thousands of dollars, threatening lawsuits and wage garnishment. However, after he consulted with a legal clinic, Robert learned that the debt had long since expired according to his state's laws. He stopped making payments, and eventually, the calls ceased. His Social Security benefits remained untouched, and that knowledge restored his peace of mind and sense of control. If you're dealing with old credit card debts, remember that time is often on your side. Companies may have had years to act, but if they failed to do so within the legal limit, their power to collect is diminished. You shouldn't have to live in fear of every phone call. Knowing that the law protects you more than you might think can be incredibly empowering. Now, let's discuss certain private student loans. Many people think that student loans follow you to the grave, but the truth is a bit more complex. While federal student loans have their own stringent guidelines, some private student loans can expire under the statute of limitations, just like credit card or medical debt. If you or your children took out loans years ago that have since gone into default, lenders may no longer have the legal right to sue for repayment. This doesn't mean that they won't try to pressure you, but often, the law is on your side if enough time has passed. Another important thing to remember is what happens when someone passes away. Federal student loans usually get discharged upon the borrower's death. In many instances, private loans also cannot be collected from surviving spouses or children unless they co-sign the loan. Seniors often fret about leaving their kids with this kind of debt, but unless their children are legally tied to it, the responsibility typically ends with the borrower. Knowing this can alleviate a considerable amount of unnecessary guilt and anxiety. For instance, take the case of Linda, an 82-year-old grandmother who spent many years scraping together money to pay off an old private student loan she had taken out for a teaching certificate she never ended up using. She worried that her grandchildren would inherit this debt if she stopped paying. After consulting with a non-profit attorney, Linda discovered that the loan was uncollectible because the statute of limitations had expired. And even if it hadn't, her grandchildren would not be responsible for it. This revelation allowed her to finally let go of the burden and focus her limited income on her essential needs. For many older adults, the fear of leaving behind debt often weighs heavier than the debt itself. Understanding that some private student loans can expire and that most do not transfer to family members can help you stop living under the shadow of a bill that holds no power over your future. The relief of knowing you can legally walk away is not just a financial issue. It's also about emotional freedom. Moving on to our fourth point, we have personal loans from friends or family. These can be some of the most challenging debts for seniors to carry. Many older adults still feel a sense of guilt for not being able to repay loans borrowed from a neighbor, cousin, or even an old friend, sometimes decades ago. Legally speaking, if these personal loans were never documented in writing, or if they have aged significantly beyond the statute of limitations, you can free yourself from them. No one can drag you to court or force repayment of a handshake loan from years back. While collectors might not be involved in these situations, the burden often lies heavily on your conscience. Seniors may relive conversations from the past, feeling they owe something that no longer holds any legal standing. Life happens. Families may experience illness, job losses, or unforeseen expenses. If the debt was never pursued formally and time has passed, the law considers it closed. Hanging onto that guilt serves no purpose and only drains the peace you deserve in your later years. Take the story of Helen, an 81-year-old woman who was still worried about a mere $50. she borrowed from a church friend back in the 1970s. That friend had long since passed away, yet Helen felt ashamed, as if she had let someone down. When her daughter explained that the debt was legally and practically gone, Helen cried tears of relief. She finally understood that she had been carrying an unnecessary burden for over 40 years. As seniors, we must remember that self-forgiveness also applies. Carrying invisible chains of old, unenforceable debts only diminishes the joy in the years we have left. Let the law and time help you close this chapter. Now, let's talk about expired medical debts. Medical bills can be some of the most daunting pieces of mail to open. Many older adults find themselves with piles of unpaid balances from a single hospital stay or an unexpected procedure that happened years ago. However, many seniors don't realize that, just like other consumer debts, medical bills also come with a statute of limitations. After a specific number of years, depending on the state, those past due balances can no longer be enforced in court. Hospitals and clinics often sell unpaid accounts to third-party collectors, who may call you urgently, warning you of dire consequences if you don't pay immediately. Their words can stir feelings of guilt and fear, especially if you were raised to believe that every bill must be settled, no matter the circumstances. Yet the truth is that an expired medical debt is legally uncollectible. No one can seize your Social Security check or take your home over it. Moreover, in most cases, hospitals cannot deny you future care due to debts from the past. Let's revisit Margaret, our 82-year-old widow. She received a terrifying notice demanding payment for a hospital bill from 1998, asking for thousands of dollars she simply didn't have. After speaking with a senior legal counselor, she learned that this debt had long surpassed its enforceable life. That single phone call restored her peace of mind and freed her from a weight she believed would haunt her indefinitely. Seniors should be prioritizing their current health and well-being, not punishing themselves for medical costs that time and the law have already dealt with. Knowing your rights can save you money while also restoring your dignity. You've worked hard for your security, so don't let expired debts rob you of it. Finally, let's discuss utility bills after death. Many seniors worry that if they pass away, unpaid household bills, like electricity, gas, or water, will fall directly onto their loved ones. Collectors may even hint at this, trying to pressure family members into covering balances that were never theirs to begin with. The reality is that once the account holder dies, unpaid utility bills do not automatically transfer to children or spouses unless their names were also on the account. Families may close the account, but they cannot legally chase surviving members for money they never owed. This is where confusion and fear often creep in. Grieving families might receive notices or phone calls suggesting they must pay to avoid damage to their credit or service interruptions. But a son or daughter is not responsible for their parents' electric bill unless they voluntarily take over the account. And even then, they are only responsible for future charges, not for what was left unpaid. Think about Robert, a 79-year-old who spent his final years worrying that his children would be stuck with his overdue water bill. After talking to a local attorney, he discovered that these concerns were unfounded. His family could simply inform the utility company of his passing, and the account would be closed without transferring the old balance. This knowledge eased Robert's mind, allowing him to focus on what truly mattered, spending quality time with his grandchildren. As seniors on fixed incomes, it's crucial to keep in mind that while basic services may be cut off when payments cease, the debts themselves do not carry over to your family. No collector has the right to bind your loved ones to what was solely your responsibility. Let go of that worry. It's not yours to carry into the future. As we wrap up today's discussion, I want to emphasize that growing older brings enough challenges without the added burden of debts you're not legally required to pay. From medical bills tied to your name to expired credit card balances and private student loans that die with the borrower, the law offers seniors more protection than they often realize. Yet too frequently, older men and women continue to suffer in silence, pressured by collectors who have no legitimate claim or worrying about obligations that have long ceased to exist. The most critical truth is this: you have rights, and understanding them can liberate you from years of unnecessary stress. Beyond the legal aspects, there's an emotional freedom that comes with letting go. Many seniors lie awake at night replaying old bills and past promises, feeling they must sacrifice their health, nutrition, or even medication to settle debts that can't be enforced. This is not how your later years should be spent. These years are meant for peace, dignity, and quality time with family. Understanding which debts you're not obligated to carry can help you regain your independence and foster hope for a more serene future. So, as you reflect on these 6 types of debts, take a deep breath and remind yourself that not every bill arriving in your mailbox is yours to pay. By learning which debts you can legally walk away from, you reclaim control over your financial situation. And by freeing yourself from unnecessary burdens, you create more space for what truly matters: your health, relationships, and the joy of daily life. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your thoughts are valuable to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments motivates and encourages us greatly. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support allows us to continue creating helpful content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.